Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel once again, and this is going to be another predictions video. So, last year was the first. Tonight, AEW is doing it again, and it's time once again for AEW Dynasty. So of course we have our matches laid out, and we're going to go through these. If you've seen these prediction videos of mine before, you kind of have an idea of how this works already. But just in case you haven't, pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to go match by match, and we're going to talk about who I think is going to win each match, and we're also going to talk about what I think is going to be the strongest and weakest matches of the night. Now, a quick disclaimer before we get into this: this is just the order of matches that is here in the wiki. It's laid out here in the wiki for now. As you can see, you probably can't because the camera's covering it, or the view of my me is covering it. It's currently 5:18 p.m. So this is just it's the card at the time of recording this that I'm predicting. Of course, doesn't mean that this will be the card come showtime. AEW does like to add matches at the last minute, which does get kind of annoying. But I've said as much previously, so I don't want to sound like a broken record. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, we have two pre-show matches announced beforehand. One is a trios match, that being Nick Wayne and CRU, that being Action Andretti and Leo Rush. I'm not sure what the CRU stands for, and they are battling AR Fox and Top Flight, that being Dante and Darius Martin. So, kind of crossing some rivalries and rehashing some old ones, because Nick Wayne and AR Fox were friends at one point, at least in kayfabe, and then I believe it was AR Fox that turned on Nick Wayne first when he joined up with Swerve in the Mogul Embassy. Remember that when that lasted for like a few weeks, but then and of course there's also been kind of conflict between Action Andretti and ooh, excuse me. There's been and there's been kind of the rivalry going on between Action Andretti, Leo Rush, and Top Flight. They were allied at one point, now they are no longer. So now crossing over into this one, I could see this one going either way. I might go with Nick Wayne and CRU, but not. But I can see it going either way. But I think the heel team pretty much is going to win this one. But my question is, what involvement, if any, will Christian Cage and company have in this match? There probably won't be a whole lot of involvement, but they are starting to tease kind of dissension between Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. So how will it unfold when it comes time? Will we see advancement of it in this match? Again, probably not, because this is a pre-show match. Although there is a chance that they could always. There is a chance they could always further it there, because that's happened sometimes. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna go with Nick Wayne and CRU, and that actually, just to be sure, just make sure they didn't add anything last minute. Just refresh the page, and it looks about the same. Then next up is Max Caster versus TBA, to be announced. Now, Max Caster has pretty much been on a big old losing streak since the split of the Acclaim. He's been pretty much getting beat up week after week by several people, including notably Swerve Strickland and I believe Bobby Lashley as well, if I'm not mistaken. But who will he face here? First of all, whoever it is will more than likely beat him and squash him. But also, a lot of people point to this potentially being Josh Alexander. Now, Josh Alexander wrapped up with TNA not too long ago, so a couple of months ago, and it was believed that he'd be on his way to AEW. So this could very well be his slot here. So, will Josh Alexander show up? But if he does, he's definitely getting the win in this one. But now moving on to the show proper, starting with the AEW World Championship match, as John Moxley, the leader of the Death Riders, battles Swerve Strickland and accompanied, of course, by Prince Nana. So Swerve beat Ricochet to win the number one contendership at Revolution and attacked Jon Moxley after his main event match against Adam Copeland. Thus, ended up being the most exciting part of that match, because the rest was a snooze. But now they're going to be duking it out here. In terms of who I want to win, and versus who I think is going to win, who I want to win is definitely Swerve. Like, Swerve, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, please, for the love of God, beat Jon Moxley and take the title from him. And granted, Swerve did it last year, or at last year's Dynasty. He beat Samoa Joe. That's how Swerve became the AEW World Champion. And please do a two-peat, I guess. Please, or I think just a repeat. It doesn't become a three-peat until it happens 3 times. But Swerve, please beat Jon Moxley for the title. That being said, I don't know if he's going to. It's not always about what we want, it's what I think is going to happen. And I think, as much as I want Swerve to take the title from Jon Moxley, I don't think Jon Moxley's dropping it just yet. So this is one where I think I'm going to go with Jon Moxley winning here, even though I don't want it to happen. But this one, I normally say I'd like to be wrong. In this case, I would love to be proven wrong. Please, Swerve, I am pulling for you. But I can't quite make the prediction of Swerve winning, so I'm going to go with Jon Moxley. But please, Swerve, I am begging, I am pleading. And if my camera would go that far down, I'd be on my hands and knees begging. Please, Swerve, please beat Jon Moxley, please. But next up for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm will be defending against Megan Bayne. So after the barn burner, or the match that should have been the main event, and at Revolution against Mariah May, now Toni Storm has moved on to Megan Bayne. They've kind of gone back and forth. I believe they've even faced off one-on-one to this point, if I'm not mistaken, which I very well could be. But Megan is going to be challenging for the Women's World Championship here. But I don't think she's going to win it from Toni Storm. Not sure who Toni Storm's going to drop it to. She's probably not going to drop it for a bit, but I think I'm going to go with Toni Storm here. But next up, in 3-way action for the International Championship, Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey will both be challenging Kenny Omega for the International Championship. Right off the bat, this one's going to be fun. I can already tell this is going to be a fun match. So this all stemmed from a 4-way a few weeks ago on Dynamite between Ricochet, Speedball Mike Bailey, Mark Davis, and Orange Cassidy. They were in a fatal 4-way, and they battled out. Ricochet and Mike Bailey both pinned. I believe it was Mark Davis. They pinned at the same time. Ricochet a little bit above Speedball. He had his foot on the rope, so they both wound up being the number 1 contender. So it essentially became a 3-way. So it's going to lead into this match here. As for this, you really could make an argument for all 3. Speedball is the newcomer, him getting the win here and getting the International Championship so early into his run in AEW would be pretty cool. Ricochet has battled for the International Championship before. He battled Ospreay last year for it, and was in the triple threat with him and Takeshita. So I think that would be cool to see Ricochet winning it. And Omega, of course, came back after so long. He was on the shelf for about a year, and then won the International Championship from Takeshita back at Revolution, and with him just winning the championship, there's been short title reigns, but don't know if they're gonna take it off him just yet. So I think I'm gonna go with Omega getting the win here, but hopefully this match does live up to it, because on paper this looks like a banger of a match. Like this match on paper is already fantastic. Admittedly, not as familiar with Speedball. seeing him in the Fatal 4-Way, seeing what he got up to was pretty cool. Well, but I think Omega's going to pick up the win here. But next up for the AEW World Trios Championships, it's the Death Riders, that being Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta, battle Rated FTR, or that being I literally almost called him Cope. I'm not doing it. AEW, I'm still not doing it. I'm still not calling him Cope. They're having Rated FTR, that being Adam Copeland, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood. So after the rematch between Adam Copeland and John Moxley for the title, which saw John Moxley get impaled on the spiked 2x4, or I forget the name of it. We saw some dissension between Rated FTR, with Dax walking out on both Cash and Adam Copeland. So I do wonder if that'll play a part in this match here. I forgot exactly how this match came about. It is a Death Rider, so it's not like it matters, but Trios Championships are on the line, and because of the potential split of FTR or Rated FTR, there's very well a chance it could be a ruse from Cash Wheeler, and he could be on Dax's side after all. Well, I think I'm going to go with the Death Riders. It'd be nice to take the titles from them, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not with it kind of the dissension that they're teasing. But this is another case. How is both Death Riders matches feature her the one I want to win, and like I actually genuinely want to win, versus the one I'm predicting to win. I Rated FTR winning this would be, it'd be better than the Death Riders, unfortunately. A part of me wants to make a video about the Death Riders storyline and kind of how very dull and bland it's been, but I'm not entirely sure. If you guys want to see me cover that in a video, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, this one I think I am gonna go with the Death Riders retaining the championships here. I hope I'm wrong again, but next up for the AEW TNT Championship, this match apparently has no time limit and no outside interference is permitted. So this should be interesting. Daniel Garcia will be defending against Adam Cole. So these two had faced off before, so they're facing off again. They kind of been going back and forth, and so I imagine no outside interference is to prevent the Undisputed Kingdom from showing up. But as for this one, and again, you can make the argument for either one. I wouldn't mind Adam Cole winning the TNT Championship here. Adam Cole hasn't, unless you count the Owen Hart Championship, the Owen Hart Tournament Cup. Adam Cole has yet to win championship gold in AEW. Besides that, but I don't think Daniel Garcia is dropping it just yet, so I think I'm going to go with Daniel Garcia, but Adam Cole I wouldn't mind. And next up is title versus mask for the Ring of Honor World Championship, as Chris Jericho will be defending against Bandito. So Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree and Bandito have been kind of going after each other for some time now, including Bandito giving himself a concussion when he came back trying to fight off the Learning Tree, which is crazy to think that was earlier this year, and it feels like so much time has passed since then. But things really picked back up again once Chris Jericho beat down and unmasked Gravity back at Revolution. So now Bandito is out for revenge, and he's after the Ring of Honor World Championship. This one, if I didn't mean it with the other Death Riders matches, of course Chris Jericho is not part of the Death Rider, he's part of his own kind of dull stable. Well, I definitely mean it with this one. Bandito, please take the title from Jericho. Oh, and I think Bandito's going to. I'm going with Bandito here. I don't think Bandito's losing his mask, but please, Bandito, please take the Ring of Honor World Championship from Chris Jericho. I don't know how much more I can take. Like I don't even watch Ring of Honor. I'm sick of it. But please take it from Chris Jericho. I beg of you. So I think he's going to. I think the lights at the end of the tunnel. People were. Or it's almost over. It's almost over. Sweet reprieve when someone else holds the Ring of Honor World Championship other than Jericho. So I'm gonna go with Bandito here. But next up for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, it's the Hurt Syndicate, that being Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, who of course accompanied by MVP, will be defending against the Learning Tree, that being Big Bill, the Redwood, and the Bad Apple Brian Heath. Learning Tree is also getting their time to shine on the show as well. Hooray! But honestly, Big Bill and Brian Heath, they're fine. It's Jericho that's mainly the issue. But that's the Learning Tree. I don't think they're gonna win this one, but it is gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be interesting to see how MJF's will also come into play here, if at all, because of course MJF teased wanting to join the Hurt Syndicate. MVP was on board. Bobby Lashley is having none of it. And so we're gonna see what happens here. Will MJF get involved? Will he join the Hurt Syndicate? And will it be a one-to-one recreation of when MJF joined the Inner Circle and then formed the Pinnacle? We will see all that and more, but I think I'm going to go with the Hurt Syndicate retaining here. Next up, in the quarterfinals for the Men's Owen Hart tournament, and Will Ospreay, the Aerial Assassin, will be battling Kevin Knight. Now, Kevin Knight, admittedly, I'm not too familiar with. I know he signed with AEW not too long ago, but I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly who Kevin Knight is, or was very much like familiar with him. But I am interested to see what he'll do against Ospreay. So I'm gonna go in this pretty much totally blind, and I can't wait. It's not too often, I feel like, nowadays where I see a wrestler who I'm 100% not familiar with, like, at all. I haven't seen any of their matches or anything, so I do want to see what Kevin Knight does here. That being said, do I think he's going to advance? I don't think so. So I think I'm going to go with Ospreay, but it'll also be interesting to see. But next up in the quarterfinal match for the Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament, Mercedes Moné, the CEO and the TBS champion, will be battling Julia Hart. Now, this one I could see going either way, mainly because it's the TBS championship isn't on the line, so having Mercedes Moné lose here would kind of, because the title's not on the line and because just the tournament, it would soften the blow a little bit. But I don't think she's going to. So I think I'm gonna go with Mercedes Moné here to continue her win streak. And finally, last but not least, the other match in the men's quarterfinal for the Owen Hart Cup tournament, Kyle Fletcher, the Protostar, will be battling Mark Briscoe. Why is there two men's quarterfinal Owen Hart Cup matches, but only one women's? That's kind of weird. But of course, Kyle Fletcher just coming off wrapping up his rivalry with Ospreay. They battled at Revolution in another absolute banger. And the more I think about that match and Toni Storm versus Mariah May, the more I absolutely detest the main event. But nevertheless, that was then. This is now. Mark Briscoe advancing, I could see, but Kyle Fletcher does have this rocket strapped to him, and he's getting kind of the push. So I think I'm gonna go with Kyle Fletcher winning here to advance. Did they show the whole tournament bracket for the Owen Hart tournament? And I don't believe so, but I do want to see who's where. So This is the quarterfinals slash I guess the opening round. So it's Osprey, Kevin Knight. That one's happening tonight. Brody King, Takeshita. Not sure when that's happening. Mark Russell, Kyle Fletcher. That one's also happening. And then Hangman and a wild card entrant. And now, something to keep in mind, and we will go back to it shortly. But something to keep in mind: this wild card entrant was supposed to be Jay White. This was supposed to be Switchblade, but unfortunately he's injured. I forgot exactly what the nature of Jay White's injury is, so we're gonna look it up because I do want to see what Jay White's injury is. Jay White Switchblade confirms injury. Let's see. Real injury. He okay. Abandoned this fires. Okay. And Switchblade. Right. Okay. So broken hand, and okay. Yeah. So he did break his hand. And so that does kind of suck that Jay White has to be pulled from the tournament. And do wonder who will replace him. So I guess I can give my predictions of that too. Who, if I had to predict anybody to replace Jay White, I don't think MJF would be a bad choice, especially with him and Hangman facing not too long ago. Who else can I see? Someone of that level, I think, would be cool, or someone that they could be bringing in. But otherwise, yeah. So, there's that. As for Dynasty here, I mean, in terms of what I think is going to be the strongest and weakest match of the night, the strongest, admittedly, there's a couple candidates. I think the strongest is probably going to be the International Championship match. That one's going to be a lot of fun. And the weakest, admittedly, there's a couple candidates. It's probably the Ring of Honor World Championship match. Like, hopefully Bandito could get a good match out of Jericho here, but otherwise, I am not looking forward to that. Especially if Jericho does get the win. Like, I'm hoping it's Bandito. I've officially predicted to be Bandito, but I'm not 100% sure because AEW's let me down before. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this predictions video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comments below what are your official predictions for AEW Dynasty. And aka, how much do you want Swerve to win the world title? But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.